Hello students, welcome back to General Science digital class. When we feel cold in winter season, we rub our palms against each other and put them on our cheeks. We hold a steel glass in a handkerchief while drinking hot milk from it. These are the instances of heat. We are going to learn about more such instances. And hence we are starting with our lesson number 9, heat. First of all, what is heat? Heat is a form of energy. It makes a substance hotter. When we take a hot object in the vicinity of a cold one, the cold object becomes warm and the hot one becomes cooler. From this, we can infer heat travels from a region of higher temperature to a region of lower temperature. There are three ways of heat transfer: conduction, convection, and radiation. Now, what is conduction? Transfer of heat from the hotter part of a material to its cooler part, or from a hot material to a cold material in contact with it, without the movement of material as a whole. We can see it practically by conducting an experiment. Take a flat aluminium rod and fix some iron nails on it with the help of wax. This rod is clamped to a stand as shown in this figure. Heat the free end of the aluminium rod by keeping a burner below it. As you can see, we will see that the iron nails attached to the aluminium rod with wax start falling one by one. The nail attached nearest to the heated end of rod falls down first, and then the next ones fall. But the nail attached to the clamped end of the rod drops last of all. This is because the burner is placed below the left end of the aluminium, as you can see. So the left end of the aluminium rod gets heated first, and then it is transferred to the colder right end. The heat transferred goes on melting the wax, which holds the nails. Due to this, the nails fall down one by one. So, we can conclude that the heat is transferred from the hot end of aluminium rod to its colder end by the process of conduction, and it requires a medium, that is, a solid substance, here the aluminium rod. Another example of heat transfer by conduction is transfer of heat from a hot metal spoon to a cold metal spoon which is in contact with it, as you can see in this figure. Now, what is convection? Convection is the transfer of heat from the hotter parts of a liquid or gas to its cooler parts by the movement of the liquid or gas itself. In convection, there is the movement of the medium. Take a beaker and fill it with water. Small crystals of potassium permanganate are dropped carefully at the bottom of the beaker. As you can see in this figure, these purple colored crystals are of potassium permanganate. These crystals dissolve slowly and form a purple colored solution around themselves. Heat the water at the bottom of the beaker by keeping a burner below it, as you can see, and observe the movement of this hot water, which has been colored purple by dissolved potassium permanganate crystals. We will see the purple streaks of hot water rises from the bottom of the beaker up to the surface of the water, because this water expands on heating and becomes lighter, and being lighter it rises upwards. The cold water from above takes the place of hot rising water. This process goes on and this water then sinks downward near the walls of the beaker, as you can see in this picture. And this movement in which the hot water rises up and the cold water from above takes the place of hot water is known as convection currents. These purple colored streams show the convection currents taking place in water of the beaker, which transfers heat from the bottom to the top of the beaker. So, we saw the formation of convection currents in a liquid and transfer of heat by the method of convection. Similarly, the air in a room is heated by convection currents. A room heater heats all the air in a room by setting up convection currents in the air, as you can see in this picture. Hot air being lighter rises up and cold air then sinks and takes the place of the hot air, and this process goes on. Now come to page number 60 of your textbook to understand the relation between density and convection. Take some water in a test tube, wrap a piece of ice in a wire gauze and drop it in the test tube, as you can see in this picture. It will sink to the bottom. Now using a test tube holder, hold the test tube at a slant as shown in the figure. Heat the upper part of test tube. Stop heating when the water starts boiling. Observe the piece of ice at the bottom. The heat doesn't reach the bottom even though the upper part is heated. How does this happen? The density of water decreases due to heating, therefore it cannot sink and the process of convection doesn't occur. Now what is radiation? Radiation is the transfer of heat energy from a hot body to a cold body by means of heat rays, without any material medium between them. Radiation does not require any material medium. When we switch an electric bulb, it becomes hot and gives out heat and light. Try this. If we keep our hand at a short distance below a glowing bulb, we can feel its heat on the hand. This heat is transferred to our hand by the process of radiation, even if there is no air or any other medium in the room. Have you warmed yourself near a bonfire in winter? This heat is transferred to your body by the process of radiation. Similarly, heat from the sun reaches the earth by the process of radiation. There is mainly empty space, or we can say vacuum, between the sun and the earth. Even then the heat reaches the earth because transfer of heat by radiation doesn't require any material medium. On the other hand, conduction and convection require a medium like solid, liquid or gas. They cannot take place in vacuum or empty space. Now see the box, a wonder of science. on page number 60. Radiation of heat takes place from many objects in nature such as trees, mountains, stones and roads. A camera has been developed which uses these radiations to make our surroundings visible at night. It is called an infrared camera. Using this camera, it is possible to keep a watch on the movement of the enemy during the night. Thank you, students. Now read the lesson from page number 58 to 60 and mark the important points.